Hi, I'm Jeff Kravitz. For the past 35 years or so, I've been taking pictures, lots of pictures, from red carpets to special events to festivals. My camera has captured a great deal of entertainment culture. So now that there's nothing to shoot, I've turned to the thing that I do second best, talking.
Look at us. We're back together again.
Join me Monday to Friday at 4:20 p.m. Pacific time as I talk to friends I've made over those decades in the trenches. From old favorites, there he is, to new up-and-comers about live music, film, television, cannabis, and everything in between.
There's 80,000 people here, and I'm not sure I trust every one of them. You know?
No, not at all. No stone is left unturned.
You're doing good, man.
So come by and spend some time sharing laughs, stories, and a little distraction from the madness. Tune in Monday to Friday, 4:20 p.m. Pacific time. It's 420 Live. I got a theme song, too, somewhere. Hey, everybody. Welcome to 420 Live with Jeff Kravitz. And, yeah, that was the intro. That was the promo I made when I did this so many years ago during the pandemic. 420 Live. It was a lifeline. It was a cast out to all my friends and all my people all over the world to let them know we were okay and to come together so we could have a moment each day to share a little smoke and share some story and to talk to our friends to see how everybody was faring during the pandemic. And now we're in a completely different reality. Instead of pandemic, now we switched to disaster mode. A couple days ago, I went live on Instagram to tell everybody I was all right because people were inquiring about me and about me. And I was happy to inform everybody I was all right and share some wit and some insight into what was going on and tell my story about what was going on. But my story pales. And when I mean pales in comparison. And I mean, we're not out of this yet. It's Tuesday night. It is 4:23 right here. And we are gearing up for some big wins tonight. And we're gearing up for some, we're just all watching. We're on red flag, warning, watch. I don't know if I'm in a warning or a watch, but what? But, all of us have become experts in the wind. We've all been experts in fire and the behavior of fire and these super scoopers and the whole way that everything comes out. We've all become incredible experts when it comes to, this disaster because we're all watching on TV and we're hanging on every word that everybody's saying and we're getting briefed every day. I'm still here in my office where I've been shacked up for the past couple of nights with my wife as we wait the evacuation order to be lifted and power to be restored to our house, which is the next thing, and the water to be okay. So there's all different levels of what's going on. And just because my house is okay and my neighborhood's okay, there's many other that aren't. And we have a couple special guests tonight. And our first guest is an old friend of mine, Ron Rivlin. Ron is an art collector, a music manager, a man who wears many hats and has done an artist himself. He's done many things over his life, and he's very accomplished. Had an incredible house up in the Palisades, and I want you to hear Ron's story today because I think it's really important that we hear his perspective. He's been interviewed by everybody on the Sun. He just got done being interviewed by the New York Times. I saw him on TV last night, and I want you to introduce to Ron Rivlin, everybody. Hi, Ron.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
Thanks for having me, Jeff. I'm okay. I'm rolling with the punches, as they say. Very volatile kind of times emotionally, and it's a very complex thing to explain. But I'm just kind of our mantra in the house is one day at a time. Obviously up against a lot of forces, a lot that are obvious and some that aren't obvious, but we're getting through it. We couldn't find a place until yesterday to settle as a family. We stayed with a friend who lives by Runyon Canyon. My client's infected mushroom, and
I remember.
Yeah, they gave us
Let's roll back and explain. Let's go back to Tuesday. It's been almost a week tomorrow, right? Okay, so let's go back.
Yeah.
Where were you? Where were you when you got the news? And
I got an alert. There's this app called Citizen, and a lot of people in the Palisades have it for just any crime or fires. And I got an alert, and it said fire 1.1 miles away. And I looked where it was, and I immediately called a friend of mine who lives right. It was pretty much a bullseye. I called him, and he put his FaceTime video, and he's like, "Holy fuck! Look at this! It's close." And then I went to my rooftop and was looking at it from afar, and then I just saw it it jumped, and then it was in two places. There was a huge one here, and there was a small one here, and then I saw it like roaring one direction. This one was starting to go down, and then it all became one. This is all in a matter of like seconds, like 2 minutes, and it just exploded, this fire. My friend's house caught on fire. He was trying to with his on FaceTime videos, like, dude, look at this, and he's got a hose in one hand, and I was like, dude, get the fuck out of here, out of there. And his wife left, came to my house. A lot of people came from the hills to my place, was the sanctuary. No one thought it would jump sunset. There's been a lot of fires, as you know, Jeff, like also in that same mountain range. The fire, it's not an uncommon thing. They always get put out, before they cause mass destruction, or anyway. This was, an event. It was, as they say, a perfect storm. I decided to leave. My wife and my kids got out of there early on, and I decided to stay. I told them I'm not going to leave until it gets closer. I want to be in the house, and then it just at some point it started coming down the hill towards the Caruso village, the Palisades village, and my daughter sent me like a text, and it just said, "Daddy," because they wanted me to come. They were like, "What are you doing? Get out of there! Get out of there!" And then that's when I went back up to the rooftop, and I saw, okay, this is a fucking massive fire, and I need to get out of here. I tore off the wall 3 Andy Warhol's paintings that I cherish, and also had a high value, a Campbell soup tomato soup painting, and a self-portrait of Andy, and then with this one painting that Warhol did called 4 Hearts, and it's like a diamond dust background with 4 pink hearts, which symbolized my family, my wife and my 2 kids. So I got away with those 3, but we're assessing how much art was in the house, and it's about 200 artworks from a lot of Warhols, a lot of Keith Haring, Baldessari, Damien Hirst. Like, I have one of his earliest spin paintings, 8-foot painting. I like Cause. Alex Katz. My house was a museum, and I built the house around the art. I didn't build a house and then decide what was going to go where. I knew what was going to go where. I had all the 10 Campbell soup cans above our sofa. And then I had this statue. It's called Broken But Together, and you probably know from Burning Man. It's the 2 figures that are holding hands, and the limbs are detached. And
sure.
Yeah, it's a really famous, a really well-known sculpture, and
it's a big piece.
It's 3,300 pounds, stainless steel. I had to crane it over my house, and today I went to the site a couple days ago, and you may have seen on CNN, they were there as I walked up to it, and that was the devastation, which I'll talk about after. It's the acceptance and surrendering to what happened, which I think is something that everyone's going to go through at some point. But for me, it was in that moment. And then I went back today with a shovel, boots, gloves, searching for something. And I got a ladder. I went down 15 feet, you know, and all I could find were my address was 750. I found the 7 and the 5. And actually, the New York Times was there with me, um, and then as I got to the back of the lot, the broken but together statue was like 15 feet tall, and it was next to my pool. It survived the fire.
Wow.
And yeah, it's the one and only art piece out of, like, listen, it's probably a lot more than 200 artworks that were there. But it was the one piece that survived. But the symbolism of what it is, you know, practically
Broken but
made me
together.
cry.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's you know, that we're all imperfect, we're all broken on some level. You know, broken's, I guess, a harsh word, but the symbolism is that we're not perfect, but we have each other. And that was, you know, the Burning Man, you know,
Yeah.
the artist, that was the message he was trying to get across. And when I saw it and I heard the story about it when it was at Burning Man, you know, I got in touch with the artist, and he fabricated it. It took like 3-4 months. That we had to close off the street. I was so happy to get that thing. That survived, and it's intact. And the way it fell off the deck, all the fire, you know, it didn't really go down. It just kind of was protected. I think, like, it's kind of on an angle, and it's on also, like, BBC was there, and you'll see it on the news probably. But there's a ton of press up there, and you know,
Yeah. I saw you on television. You look really good. You're very, very Hollywood.
No, but I got a press pass, and I got up there, and I just wanted to see if I could find something, and that's what I got. Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good thing. So I guess the question everybody asks you, what's your? I know you're going to rebuild. I mean, that's not really a question, is it?
I mean, I want to, and you know, the biggest loss in all of this is, you know, it may sound kind of corny or cliche, is the community.
Yeah.
You know, the Palisades community. I mean, we were a really tight knit group of friends, and you know, I had my "fuck you if you ain't 40" club for 40 plus people to go party, and you know, we had our poker nights, and it was just such a lovely place to live. But you know, consider this perspective of, you know, there's say, I don't know how many homes were burnt down, but I'm telling you, it's like 95% or something. Every landowner will have the option to build or not. And I mean, if you decided to build, would you want to be around construction for the rest of your life?
Well, I think that's part of the problem that I was talking about yesterday, was that if you save your house and you're the only one on the block and everything's gone, your supermarket and your schools and there's your churches and everything, what are you there for?
What's
I mean,
there?
a lot
Yeah.
of it is the community and your neighbors. And, you know, that's one thing I realized in the polo fields. I live in the polo fields, and we're still tonight, we got to worry about the flames tonight, because Mandeville could fire up at any time, or up above in Riviera. So, you know, we're all on edge. I'm evacuated still, and as are tens of thousands of other people still evacuated. So we're still in the midst of this. So it's just really, really difficult. I think it's been hard for everybody to wrap their heads around what it must be like. I mean, the one thing I heard you talk about is how many times we've been evacuated before, you know, and how it's kind of like boy cries wolf after a while, because you're, oh, nothing ever comes across the sunset. And that's what I was looking to come down to the polo fields. You know, this is our mentality, you know?
It's absolutely catastrophic on so many levels. You know, our friend Fraser is going through a lot right now. There are people who are renting there who lost everything. Like Fraser's son, his school burned down. People, you know, are going through a lot more than I'm going through. You know, I lost a lot of things I loved, some things I can't replace, but I know I'm going to be okay. And the love. I mean, I got to talk about the love. I mean, so many people are coming out, you know, showing their compassion, and some. I mean, you can't find a place to rent in the city right now.
I know.
Everyone's doubling their prices. There's bidding wars. one of my clients that I sell art to owns a big clothing company, and he bought a house right behind my gallery on Sunset Plaza Drive, and he called me and was like, "Are you okay?" And like, well, we're looking for a place, and there's all these bidding wars. He goes, "Ron, you're taking my house. It's it was Fred Durst's house. He he just bought it, and it's sitting empty, and it's furnished and everything."
Wow.
He said, "Shut the fuck up. You're moving in." And so we have a place until March 1st. And right now, I think, insurance is all overwhelmed, and there's very little movement going on, for anyone, any of the victims of this fire.
You gotta admit, it's really fresh, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything is really fresh. It's still ongoing, right?
Yes.
We're not done yet. And
Right.
the amount of people that it's happened to is astounding. We're talking about tens of thousands of people that are affected by this move,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think it's really absolutely astounding to me
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
we're still in it. It's like the never-ending story. I feel like Groundhog Day every day. I'm like, okay, this
Yeah.
has gotta end.
Yeah. We're not out of the woods for sure. And I think that the city is going to go through its mourning process. Things are going to change. LA is going to be a little bit different for a while.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's sad. Yeah.
So tell me how you're dealing with this mentally and on the human level.
Well, it's different times of the day, and when I speak with people, that's the most emotional time I have. I hear people's stories, and it's just sad talking to friends. Everyone's emotional, and it's hard to stay strong when people you love are telling you how hurt they are. So it's I don't know. Like right now, I'm become sad again. But I had a really great day today. I've been kind of shifting my focus to service, trying to help people. I did the Go fundraiser for Fraser, and we've raised almost $30,000 in 2 days.
Wow.
I'm calling my friends, making sure they're okay, checking if I can help find a place, just being there for my friends. I finally found a place yesterday, and so we're situated for now, and I'm getting the most soothing thing for me to do is to help, and I know I can kick the can down the road on all my stuff. I had a moment of like when I went to my house and I saw that everything was burned to the ground. I accepted it, and I surrendered to the fact that there is. I mean, the hope level kind of went way down, um, and then I just started looking in front of me and not behind me, and my kids. One of them went back to school. He's at Crossroads. Another one is right around the corner from you, Paul Revere, which hasn't opened yet. But I want to introduce normalcy. I want to, I want them to be around their friends. But yeah, the kids are, I mean, everyone lost everything. And,
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much are. I mean, your next couple months are going to be putting together everything because you need to have a base of operation. If you rebuild, it's going to be 3 to 5 years, right? With the way things are going.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you got to find a base of operation to be at while that's going
Yeah.
on.
Right.
And I know some friends that have moved to Ventura already because the real estate has just been so shit
Oh yeah,
here.
yeah.
They're already looking out of town and looking at other places. When I saw you on TV and I see my home and how close it comes to my life, it makes me realize how prepared we have to be and how serious we have to take it every time, no matter when they tell you to evacuate. It's not the kind of thing we can take casually. And your stories like Fraser's and is like my friend Greg Caruso's and other people that they were told to get out and they just got out. And then they were like, we can come, we'll be back. We'll be back. And I
Right,
see everybody on
right.
TV saying the same exact thing. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. When we all should be Boy Scouts, when we all should be prepared, when we should all, and
Yeah,
it's funny. I have a list that I made and I looked at the date. It was December 21st. And it's just
right,
when all this shit was going down politically, when I was feeling really unstable. And it was like, buy some gas masks, buy some potassium chloride or
right,
tablets, buy get a full house generator, which I still didn't do. And I wish I had it now because I have power. Get your go bag together. Like I had a list that I put together 4 weeks ago of things to do. And I just, I did some of them, but I didn't do all of them, and I should have.
right.
And it makes me think about how prepared we have to be off the grid, out of the machine, because you don't know what's going to happen. So,
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's you never know. This is a true testament to that, and no one expected it. So, everyone's going to go through the process their own way, and I'm sad for not just the victims, but a lot of people like you who are neighboring these. I mean, there's devastation also in Altadena, so Pasadena, Glendale, all those areas are going to suffer from that.
Yeah, and it can happen in any neighborhood, especially tonight with the way these winds are going to kick up. So hold on,
right.
I got Rabbi Peretz here. Are you ready, Peretz? Let me see if I can add you. Hey, how are you?
Hey, hi.
Rabbi, I want you to meet Ron. Ron, this is my rabbi. We camped together at Burning Man. That's where we met this year.
Oh, wow.
And he lives in Venice, so he's very close to us. And I brought him on today to give us a little bit of clarity and insight into where we are mentally, because I really feel that we're getting this mixed message because it's being so politicized. We're having all this garbage dumped on us right now. So, Rabbi Peretz, welcome.
You hear me?
I have one thing I got to say. So everything kind of perished, but the KI synagogue survived, and it protected the church right next door because of the structure was built properly, but the direction of the winds and everything protected the two. And then like the Chabad guys, it damaged their building, but they couldn't get to it. So I managed to get them all press passes to go there yesterday morning, and it's like salvageable. Anyway, I just
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you never know what position you're going to be in. Outside, inside. What roles, and like synagogue or synagogue. Like everyone's like figuring that out. So much of what my mind's been going to is not. You're using big words, Jeff, like, understand, like, I'm like, dude, relax. Like, I don't know if I could fit this at all, actually, in rational. Here's where the brain sort of is a little, failed experiment here. There's so much body, so much emotions. But I just wanted to say first, like, the kid element here is what really sits with me. I have my own children and the kids who won't have school because there's no school building. Like that's, to think about that, to think about just the kids themselves. Like last week and maybe today, every 2 hours, I'm like, okay, do I have to leave? Do I have to be, like, where are we at? So I think so much has been like about them for me, all the kids involved with that, and just what that means to uproot and to be in a city where that's happening on a large scale. Like, I think energetically I've been tuning into, like, we're now all experiencing, like, going to sleep at night, and usually you deal with your own fears and demons, and you're like, actually, there's so many people with fear. Like, that's such a big.
I think it's so tenuous because we're still, like I've said, keep repeating, like the situation keeps repeating. We are still in this situation. It's still an emergency situation. A large chunk of the path of that whole area is still evacuated, as well as northern Santa Monica and my whole neighborhood and parts of Brentwood. I mean, this is still a danger to come back up. So, and that to me is really like that. That's the unease I have every day and every night. But Ron, I want to let you go because I know you're busy. But I wanted the rabbi to give you a quick blessing here before we split, Rabbi.
Yeah, I like, look, a blessing means to draw in, and like, I just want to bless you that you feel like you're drawing in the strength and joy that you need to be, to show up every day for the weeks ahead.
Mhm.
And for those around you who listen to you, who feed off you, immediate family and beyond, feel like you have a full cup as much as possible to give from, and to like really, feel like the empowerment somehow. That's I know it's a big blessing, to feel that.
Thank you. Yeah.
And through that process, there's some grieving too. So allow yourself that space and let that
Thank you.
cycle of authenticity make this work in the best way it can.
Great words. Thank you so much. I'm gonna check out, but is there any way you can put the GoFundMe live anywhere for Fraser and his family?
See, I think I can put what is it? Is it GoFundMe?
Yeah, I can text you the link.
Yeah, text it to me and I'll share it up here.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Good luck
Ron.
to everyone.
We love
and
all you
stay
guys.
safe.
And good luck to you and Fraser and everybody up there in the Palisades. You're all
Thank
family.
you.
Okay. Take
Thank
it
you.
easy. Thanks,
Bye,
Ron.
guys.
Good luck. Ron Rivlin, ladies and gentlemen, absolute legend. And really, really sad to Ron lost everything in the fire, Rabbi. And as I saw you post today about all these, the thing that's driving me crazy right now is the politicization of this, what's going on right now, and the fact that there's all these negative forces that are coming in.
Yeah. I've two thoughts on that. And again, like even with the posting on social media and stuff, like I want to usually like I try not to feed too much into should I post, should I not post. I just try to feel authentic. But in like this situation, I was like, a lot of my feelings were like, why am I sharing? What am I sharing for? And without being preachy and just trying to like maybe. And then what occurred to me was that because of the amount of negativity, the politicization, the lack of connection, like talking to some people calling me from out of state and really not getting, the impact here. It's just, I think it could feel like, oh, it's mountains, it's at the side of LA and the edges of LA maybe got burnt, and maybe on the map it even looks like that, without knowing that it's like, if you're in Brooklyn, if I told you Brooklyn Heights burnt up, I mean, like, you'd be like, what? You know what I mean? Like it's that, it's a whole community of people. So I thought like the first step in this is to combat literally our own like issues with making decisions and having fluidity with what we want, and just sort of tuning into self, because the outside emotions are so strong. So like, how do we just like shift it to like feeling our own emotions, if it needs to be felt as pain or whatever needs to be felt in order for
I understand where we are in this. What I have a hard time understanding is where everybody else is, because everybody is just so absolutely negative. And what is their payoff to be so evil and to want to harvest and manifest so much negative energy and just to create so much confusion? I just don't understand what the payoff is. Like it has to be some kind of perverted sense of satisfaction that you're the most evil in the world, because I don't understand this modern era where the hate is winning. I mean, it really feels to me like the hate's winning right now. It's evil is up, and I really expected this age of Aquarius that was supposed to come in, with the new year, and I was expecting a big change, and the new year just went to shit with New Orleans, and then it's gone downhill ever since, and it's just driving me crazy.
Yeah. I wanna do what I do is, it's like I imagine like when there's darkness, there's also like some pixelated light in there, and I gotta like zoom in on those pixelations and make them closer to myself. And the light that I'm zooming in on is, I am seeing incredible amounts of goodness in LA, locally, of people showing up and doing fundraisers and getting in line and volunteering. Like it's there, like it's happening. Like people call me up, Rob, I have a house available. If you know someone, like trying to like do those things are happening, and it's really special. So I'm just looking at, that's the pixelated light that I'm zooming in on. And I believe spiritually in critical mass, the more good people there are, creates an impact, creates a shift. And like, so yeah, I mean, I'm not denying that.
Oh, I see that too. It's just to me, I don't understand the noise and what the benefit is. I mean, it just, to me, it's just a distraction to be a distraction and to not be helpful. because everybody right now should be helpful and should be wanting to lend assistance. But instead, people want to point fingers and lay blame. And to me, that is just such negative energy.
I'm a little more philosophical about it. I think the negative energy there is like people acting inauthentically, because like if you authentically were saying you need changes and stuff, those would be much more tolerable voices, and they would be like, okay, there's all these elements going on, and one of the elements is how things got to shift,
Yes.
or like that there needs to be some type of accountability. But it's not like a lot of hate and evil isn't authentic. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know what else to do, and I'm done digging in my own wellspring of what I could do this and authentically, and I just sort of rage out. And like, yeah, that part's sad, and it's been going on for a while, and it just pretty much seems like any event that happens allows for that. And and in the same way, you're like, oh man, I want to be a little bit more of a Boy Scout as a homeowner now. I'm like, well, I think I want to be a little more focused on my own authenticity these days more than anything.
No,
so I think I believe that the trust is there to know.
We definitely all need to focus on ourselves. I think that's a good point.
Last night I saw a group of people, Jeff, who were just like, the first 3 days they were used so hard for like anything that they just like depleted. People were just like broken up, and I'm like, yo, focusing on yourself will still allow you to do good things. That's kind of been my message right now. Like, focusing on what you need is going to enable you to do good things. Doing lots of good things may burn you out quick, so like, understand that like through self and through filling your own cup and through like tending to self is how you're going to figure out authentically where to impact.
You mean putting yourself people were too into the volunteering.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So there's that going on too. We don't want to burn out our good people. There's enough negative out there. We don't want to burn out the good ones. Like let's tend to self as much as possible here too.
Yeah. Well, I think that the self-care is incredibly important. As you know, I'm a big fan, but I think that, mental health and mental well-being is really hard right now, and people need to reach out for help when they need it,
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big believer in, especially with like 420 health and psychedelic health, like that presence is a big part of this. When presence could simply be described as like not living in the some of the depression of the past or the anxiety of the future, but like just kind of in the present to what is. And like that's another thing I've been messaging out there, of just like, presence will be the key to your authenticity. If this is about self-care and authentically expressing and all that type of stuff, well, that really begins with like presence. And I think at the core of like Rabbi Judaism, mysticism, sharing is really like tuning in deeply to presence. You'll often know what to say, what to act, how much energy you have. And I feel like that's the ancestral thing, because Jeff, we've ran a lot as Jews, and I would say everybody, Jews, non-Jews, everybody has had an ancestor that's lost a home in a fire in the last 1,000 years. Like there's like a lot of like inner DNA, I think, type of spiritual tools that can be cultivated and brought out here. Maybe spiritual Boy Scouts, and
yes,
yeah. So like, I think like there's many. I have a lot of like feeling like this could also bring out a lot of goodness here, and LA would be a wonderful big city in this world to like impactfully have like some type of uptick of authentic spirituality a little bit. Like this town can really grow with that.
Well, it definitely needs it, but I think that's one of the advantages. But one of the things that's happened is that we're watching people in LA come together like they have never come together before. So it's absolutely mind-boggling, because LA is not known for knowing your neighbors and talking to your neighbors and having you might your immediate neighbors, but it's not like it's different. It's just a different kind of thing. People kind of keep to themselves. It's not like a look in your eye and smile when you walk down the street kind of thing. It's like people are in their bubble, in their car, living their lives. Rabbi, I love you very much. It's been a pleasure getting to know you over the past 4 months. We've been through a hell of a lot already.
Indeed, indeed, and I love you and your family, and I love how you are showing up authentically out there. I got to be honest, it's really real. Each one of your like streamings, I've been tuning in. I feel like here's a guy who's like feeling the whole thing: the neighbors, the loss, the fears, the sitting outside, the looter nights. You know, like this is like it's a lot, and thank you for sharing it with dignity and humility, and I'm sure all the people around are getting a lot out of it. So thank you.
Well, it's all I can do. I'm a communicator at heart. I love people and I love talking to them and I love being with them. And to me, it's that's the true gift in life, is just being able to spread the vibe and spread the love and to be there for people. And this is the one way I showed up during the pandemic, and it's what I know, and I'm back to it now after many long break off. But I want to thank you for being part of it. You're an important part of my life. And do you want to lay a little blessing on all of us before we get out of here?
Yeah, I want to stick with that theme of like knowing that we should have blessings, and once again reminding you guys the word blessing is like means to draw things near. It's like where we focus in myopically on good things and try to bring it closer to us. So my blessing is to actually do that, do the inspired blessing, which is to focus in on like the blessings in your life and filling yourself up with self-love so you can really show up out there in the most authentic way right now. And I believe in that path deeply. So
thank you. We're building an army, and I appreciate your love, and I appreciate you showing up.
Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. All right. There we go. We had the rabbi. We heard from Ron and heard about his disaster, and now we're going to talk to my good old friend and a longtime guest here at 420 Live, Hilary Gleason.
Hi.
Look, you all cleaned up. You look fresh as a daisy.
Yep. Self-care day.
Self-care day. Well, Hilary created Backline Care to address some of the issues in the music industry with mental health, and some of to have something there for people that don't have any kind of resources to bounce off of. And Backline has been an incredible resource since before the pandemic and throughout the pandemic, and now here as we're dealing with the disaster, Hilary does what she knows best and has been stepping up through her Instagram and raising money and getting supplies. And tell us about Los Angeles and what happened this past weekend. Honey, can I have a little water, please?
I've only been in LA for a little over a year and a half. So this might actually be my first experience with the Santa Ana winds. So I have been riding that wave since Tuesday, like most everyone else. Hard to sleep on Tuesday night for sure with the wind and the fires moving so quickly. I also live alone, so it's like didn't feel safe to fully fall asleep on Tuesday night. And was really watching the Eaton fire on watch duty just like explode that night. Wednesday morning, heard that things were bad and getting worse, and packed my bag and got ready to get out, and took my dog down to San Diego on Wednesday and came back up on Thursday, with an empty pickup truck ready to support in whatever ways possible. I posted it on my Instagram story, and hundreds of people have been sending money from all over the country to make sure that we could direct resources immediately where they were needed. There's been a meme floating around the internet, says something like community shows up faster than the government. And that is what we were trying to do last week and over the weekend, is just, talk to organizers and mutual aid folks and make sure that they had people that were looking out for them, actually asking, what do you need? When do you need it? And starting to mobilize folks to get those supplies directly to the shelters and distro sites throughout the city.
How are you figuring out, like, what was the system that you were laying into to figure out the needs?
So the Instagram account Mutual Aid LA has been doing a lot this past week as far as just shining a light on what folks are doing and how to jump in and help. And by Thursday morning, they had developed a whole mutual aid spreadsheet that they're updating. Organizations are saying where they are, what they need, what kinds of donations they're accepting, what they're looking for in volunteers. So we've just been monitoring that spreadsheet. and then reaching out directly to the folks that we see need help to confirm, checking their Instagram, DMing them. Hey, do you still need these supplies? We're going to Home Depot right now for y'all. And that's been the best way that we've seen to get involved, is to actually confirm, donations are still needed here. This is where they're going. And I have several friends displaced and refugees from the Eaton fire right now in particular. And so over the weekend, they have started to be able to verbalize some of what they need, and just having conversations with them. And a lot of the times that looks like, offering some ideas of what they might need, because it just seems like so overwhelming to be in that position. And so, we're like, do you want someone to go to the farmer's market for you? Do you want us to, figure out some childcare so you can get through these insurance forms, and it seems like that has also been helpful, because as you know, when you're going through something, it's hard to answer, what do you need? How can I help? And so kind of trying to provide some ideas to them about what they might want to take advantage of and how we can show up for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been doing an amazing job. You've done an amazing job raising money. And I know
Kiki's over $10,000
wow.
in 2 days.
Incredible. So you've been doing a lot of shopping and a lot of running around.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you. I mean, it's amazing work you've been doing.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing just to be out there in the community. I was so encouraged to see how many people stepped up over the weekend. I know Kiki's running supplies now too. Like everybody seems to be out there doing their thing. And yesterday, it seemed like a lot of the donation sites and organizers were overwhelmed, with how much support they had. And we're saying, like, we're not taking donations for a while until we figure out, where these are all going. And I just keep thinking, in such a big city, there's so many people to turn out. And so it seems like, anybody who wasn't directly affected has shown up in some way for someone else. And it's been a really, really beautiful thing to see. Still being new in the city, I feel like this is kind of a good way to go through initiation, is like really out there with people.
You're seeing a different side of LA, and you're getting used to our seasons. We have the wind season, we have the fire season, we have the mud season, we have the earthquake season. There's our 4 seasons there. But the Santa Ana's took a little getting used to. I just would be like, oh, why is it so dry? Because all of a sudden everything would suck up, and then all of a sudden the winds would kick up. But they would only last for a couple of days, and I've never seen it like it is now, where it lasts for a couple of days and stops for half a day and then picks up, and wind warning on top of wind warning. And I'm just, it's for me as a local, which I, after however 100 years I've been here, it feels, new, and it feels different. So
yeah,
and scary. So
yeah. What's going on with the wind up there right now?
Well, I think we're going to be okay. I don't think the wind's going to be as bad here as it's going to be in other parts of LA tonight, but I don't know. I'm not an expert. As much as I want to say that, yes, I know about the winds. I mean, I don't know shit. And, every time I think I know something, I get my ass handed to me like everybody else. And I don't want to be like Ron or anybody else on the show that didn't have the time to grab the things I loved on the way out of the house. And, there's a tragic story I heard over and over again this whole entire time. And I'm just like, it just beats me up to hear it, and I know it beats you up. I know you love to be involved. So backlinecare.org, or what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Probably through my personal Instagram at Hilltops. We're also at backline.org online. Okay. We do have a lot of money available for anybody in the music industry that wants counseling or therapy, free of charge. So really encourage people to take advantage of that. We don't want anybody to be worrying about paying for anything right now as they try to get on their feet. So we've opened up a lot more therapy scholarships and encouraging folks to come through if they need us.
All right, hold on. I'm getting your banners together here. I'm trying to type without looking. I'm pretty good usually. Let's see. There it is. There it is. Here's the other one. Let's see. Bam. Add banner. And boom. Let's see. Oh, there it is. There's your IG
2
and
L's.
your name. Oh, 2 L's. Duh. Why? You know what? On your Instagram it says 1. I don't know why. Now I gotta edit it. Hold on. All right. Ding, 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 ding. I can do this. Dun, 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 dun. Save and show. All right, that's a HILTOPS or HILL. Is that right?
HILLTOPS.
Oh, that's why I fucked up. Hold on.
You're trying.
I am. I'm doing my best here. Just trying to get back into relearning all the technology and all the stuff that I used to do to make the show work is really something else. Oh, there you go.
I know. The last time I was here, we were living through a global pandemic.
Yes, and you weren't living in Los Angeles, and now all these things have changed, right?
Yep.
How are you finding LA?
I love it. I mean, it's been the easiest place for me to find my people. I really love the lifestyle. Like, people really care about taking care of themselves, getting outside, taking care of each other, which we're seeing a lot more of right now. But I knew right when I moved here, I was probably going to be here in the long term. Beautiful city. And, like you were talking with the rabbi about, like, people are really out there connecting right now, which is a silver lining of all of this, is like actually getting to know your neighbors and show up for people in your community in a way that I haven't really been able to tap in yet before this. So it's been a really amazing turnout, and I'm hopeful that everybody is going to continue to show up in that way, in the long haul, because we're going to be in this for months trying to help people get back on their feet. And so it really is a long haul. And
it's going to be years, unfortunately, because so many people are displaced and everybody's got to assimilate and figure out schools and everything like that. So there's a lot of leaps and bounds people got to make before we're back to normal. But I'm just hoping that the fires end and we could just call the damage where it is right now and not have to worry about it anymore. And
me too.
Let's move on. Let's move on to mudslide season. Which comes next. Hilary, thank you so much. Anything you want to let the people know before I let you go?
Just check us out. Our Instagram for Backline is at backline.care. And we're showing up there as much as possible. If anybody needs anything in person, I'm your girl. I'll come to you.
I love it. There is Hilary to the rescue. Thanks, Hilary.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Love you. Bye.
All right, talk to you later. Bye. All right, there you go. 3 completely different versions of what's going on out there, but all focusing on the same thing, and that's taking care of each other and helping each other make it through where we've been. I want to share the GoFundMe. It's really long for Fraser and Kyla, but here it is. This is the link that Ron sent me. If you look, let's help Fraser and Kyla land on their feet. I'm sure you'll be able to find them on the GoFundMe. If you want to help our friends out, we would greatly appreciate it. Everybody needs some help. Like I said, there's over 200 names on the vetted list of Pali GoFundMe. So please help where you can. You got our friends here, Fraser and Kyla and Hilary, who's running supplies to everybody and making sure people get stuff. And also Kiki, my daughter, at Kiki Kravitz on Instagram, has been raising money and taking supplies over to the YMCA. They've been updating the list there, and it's just really encouraging to see everybody kick it up and get involved. And a different format today, not Smokey Jeff, a little bit more serious, but I wanted to hear his little perspective from some of my friends on what's going on here. So I want to thank Rabbi Peretz. I want to thank Hilary Gleason coming on, and Ron Rivlin, and our thoughts and prayers to everybody out there. I want to thank everybody for their love and concern during these difficult times, and to all our first responders. Almost lost it. Jeff Kravitz, 420 Live. Sign off with a big hug for all you guys out there. Love you all. Have a great day. Sorry, honey.
You want to plug my computer?